Eat your heart out, Panera. You ain't got nothing in my broccoli cheddar soup. On today's episode, we're gonna learn how to make my famous broccoli cheddar soup. So that way, next time you go to Panera, you don't gotta spend $100 for a quart of soup. Let's go, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Chef Threads. Before we get into today's video, let's go over the ingredients for today's recipe. We have white pepper, unsalted butter, Velveeta cheese, chicken base, all-purpose flour, heavy cream, fresh carrots, fresh celery, fresh shallot, fresh garlic, yellow onion, cheddar cheese, and of course, broccoli. So if you're a fan of broccoli cheddar soup like I am, but don't feel like paying those high prices at a corporate name that I will not mention, you're gonna love this recipe. This was my go-to recipe, my famous broccoli cheddar soup. Whenever I used to run the restaurants I used to run for private chefing, I used to always have this on the menu, always a big hit, and you guys are really gonna enjoy this recipe a lot. It's quick, it's easy, and not a whole lot of ingredients go into it. And let's get into it. Let's begin by getting all of our vegetables prepped up. And let's start with some garlic. I'm just going with some 4, medium-sized cloves of garlic. Don't need a whole lot here. Okay, for the onion, we're only gonna use half of this onion, so I'm gonna leave this piece on, and you're gonna see why. This is gonna help us cut it a lot smaller in these nice bite-sized pieces that we need. Now, the reason why we didn't hold or cut this piece off right here, I'm going to show you why, is you're going to run the blade down the bottom like this, and just work your way up to the top of the onion. Carefully, don't cut the palm of your hand. And then run the blade the other direction. And then now for our final step, just go right down the onion. Now that way you have something to hold on to when you get down to the butt end of the onion, and then you can just toss that piece away. There you go. Nicely fine diced onion for our soup. Now for our carrots, I want to do a julienne on these, so I am going to use the mandolin on those. So I want them to be almost kind of like shredded carrots, to be honest with you. So just get these a quick peel. So let's bring in our mandolin. And if you do not have a mandolin, you can do these by hand, but it is a little bit more tedious. If you have a mandolin, it makes the process a heck of a lot easier. So I have the shredding attachment on here. Okay, and we're also going to use this for our cheddar cheese as well. So just have it on there. I go ahead and leave this on because why not? It makes it a little bit easier to hold on to. And you don't need to really cut it off anyway. So, and then just run it back and forth. And what we're trying to get is something on the lines of shredded, like shredded carrots. Okay? So I'll go ahead and finish this up. Now let's go ahead and get our star of the show prepped up, is the broccoli. And now with the broccoli, what I like to do is these stems right here. These stems hold a lot of flavor, and most people, they just throw them away. However, I will keep them. Just go ahead and chop all this off right here. Go right around. Okay, that stem, I'm gonna chop the leaves off. Save that stem. I'm gonna toss this in our soup and let this cook down, and it's gonna get a nice broccoli flavor in our soup. Now that we have all the components for our soup to be made, let's go ahead and take everything over to the stove and we'll start cooking. So in a separate pot, I went ahead and I remember I told you I saved those stems of our broccoli. I'm gonna go ahead and put those in a pot of water. And this is gonna be our stock for our soup. Once we get this up to a boil and the water has a nice broccoli flavor from it, from our stems, I'm also gonna add in our chicken base, and that's gonna give us our really nice chicken base slash broccoli flavored going into our soup. Okay, while we have our other pot cooking in our broccoli stems, let's go ahead and get our main pot ready to roll. Have this on a medium heat. We're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter to this. Let's go ahead and add in our onion and shallot, as well as our celery. If you're not familiar, fancy word for this is called a mirepoix. And what that is celery, carrot, onion, and I am adding garlic to mine. I always add garlic to my mirepoix. That's optional, but who doesn't love garlic, right? So with our mirepoix, I'm waiting to put the garlic in at the moment because I do not want the garlic to burn. But with our celery, onion, and shallot, you don't want to brown these. You don't have to brown them. I just want them to be a little bit more translucent. That's all. And what we're doing, just want to unlock some of these flavors before we start adding everything else in there. Okay, got a little bit of bubbling going on. Now it's safe to put our garlic in. We'll throw that in there. Mix that around. I'm not sure if I said this or not, but I do have this on a medium to high heat. Also going to throw in just a couple dashes of white pepper. White pepper has a little more bite than regular black pepper does. And I always especially like to use white pepper when it comes to any type of cream sauces, bechamels, veloutés, Alfredos, whatever you name it. All right, that's smelling real good. Let's mix that around a little bit more. Now we're going to go in and build our roux. So I'm putting in 2 nice heaping tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Mix that around. You want to make sure you cook this flour out. So that way, I know I've said it a million times in my videos, but it's a very important step, guys, is to make sure you cook your flour out, because you don't want to taste that, that grittiness or whatever you want to call that in your soup or whatever you're making, sauce. So you can see how it's starting to bubble up there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's starting to bubble up there and around the right in here and over here. That's the flour cooking out, which that's what you want. You don't want it to burn, but you want to cook that flour taste out of there. Now what this is going to do is once we put in our cream, this is going to create a nice thickness. Give that a couple more seconds to cook the flour out, and then we'll add in our heavy cream. All right, that is looking good. Let's go ahead and start adding in our heavy cream here. Perfect. And we can go ahead and add in our carrots as well. Stir this in. That was 1 quart of heavy cream. I'm not adding any salt because we are going to add chicken stock to this. So there's no need to add salt unless you want to add salt to it. So I want to put this on a simmer now, on a low heat to simmer, and we'll come back to it in a few. Okay, it's been about a half an hour since we added our broccoli stems to our water. So go ahead and remove those. I like to save one or two, throw it in your pot of soup as well. You can always take it out when you're done. Like that big one here, throw that in your soup. You get a lot of good flavor from that. So we'll take these out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in our chicken base to this. And I'm probably going to do about 2 nice tablespoons full of this. I like it to be very chicken flavored. So just add this to your hot water, and then we're going to add this to our soup. Perfect, just like that. Got our chicken stock ready to go. This is about probably about 1.5 quarts of water. We're going to add that right to our soup. So we got our stock in there. Like I said, turn this heat up to about a medium heat now. Medium to 3/4 of a heat. We want to try and get this to simmer a little bit. And now I'm going to add in all of our cheese. I like to do Velveeta first. And we cut it in small slices because it's going to melt down nicely. Just go ahead and spread that around evenly. This is also going to help thicken our soup as well. I know it looks a little bit liquidy at the moment, but this will help make it a little bit thicker. And then we're going to go in with our cheddar. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our broccoli. As we're letting this soup cook, I'd like to stop and take a minute and say thank you so much for all of our subscribers and followers for watching our cooking videos. It's really helping out the channel a lot. We're getting a lot of views and we are really hitting our milestones. We want to start going live every Tuesday or every even Sunday. So the more views, the more watch hours we get, more subscribers we get, it's greatly appreciated. Hope you enjoy this recipe. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. Our soup is just about done. I'm going to go ahead and remove those 2 stalks that we had back there. 2 broccoli stems. Give this a couple more stirs. And then we're going to let this ride for about another 5 to 10 minutes. And then we'll be ready to serve. All right, now that our soup is done, let's go ahead and dish up a bowl. Got perfect consistency here. Beautiful. Eat your heart out, Panera. You ain't got nothing on my broccoli cheddar soup. I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments down below. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And as always, guys, don't forget the threads.